Welcome back to The Real Contrast.
I'm Kyle A.
I'm Brian K. What up, dog?
What's going on, brother?
From homes to hearths.
We bring the keys to success.
That's us.
And I like that statement. You know what? I like that statement. I think it's a good. I think it definitely spells out the journey in buying property, right? I mean, literally, you get into a house, your first home ever, and you get comfortable, and you're like, it's kind of like the American dream, get in a home, feel comfort, and start doing your thing,
Yeah.
It's just a step along the way.
You said something, you get into your first home and you get comfortable. Let's be real. The first home, it might take you a minute to get comfortable in.
Oh, for sure.
If it's anything like the first home I bought, it was a bank foreclosure. When we looked at it, there was urine in the carpet. There was massive holes in the wall. The heater didn't work. Some of the flooring was coming up in the bathrooms. And we're writing an offer, and I'm just like, oh, my gosh. I was so nervous. And then we got the offer accepted, and the bank was going to do some repairs. And I'm like, man, what have I gotten myself into? And then we get into the home, and I think we were in the home for like 2 weeks, and the dishwasher had a leak, which started peeling up some of the brand new floor that was in our kitchen. So we started peeling up the floor, realized they put a second subfloor on top of the old floor, and within a 3-week time span, I went from opening the door thinking, it was all painted up, had new floor in there and everything, to I've got no floor in my kitchen, and I'm like, oh my God, what have
you can
I
still
done?
be successful. You learn how to fix floors. You learn how to fix dishwashers. You learn a whole lot.
Oh man, and I had a buyer consult today with a first-time home buyer, and what I've resorted to when I'm talking to someone who's looking to buy a home first time, bless you, whether they're 20 years old or 50 years old,
Yeah.
I tell everybody the same thing. Generally speaking, the first home you buy is going to be hard. You're going to make compromises. When I bought my first home, I remember thinking, well, my dad has this big, beautiful koi pond out back.
Right.
And the outdoor kitchen. And so that's what I want.
And then you go in and you see what you can afford.
And my agent's like, you got what budget? You got.
Yeah.
Well, I can show you this one that if you squint, it kind of looks like it's standing upright.
Oh, dude. My first home was actually a really nice home. Walked into it, a bunch of stuff needed to be worked on. This was before I was in real estate, and it was actually really nice. They did everything we asked, moved into it. I mean, really no issues at all. Nowadays, you couldn't get that home for the price that I got that home for.
Oh, no.
And we're only talking, 10 years difference. But double and a half times what we paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you what, yeah, I mean, I have clients right now that are capped out at 300. What's on the market at 300?
Not a lot. We got one guy into a townhome about a month ago here in Coeur d'Alene.
Yeah.
Nice home, shared wall with someone else, 2,000 square foot. But for him, that worked.
A condo.
And
there's condos out there.
Yeah, real similar. And that's what I tell people. I say, there's a good chance, and that's why I say a good chance, right? Because maybe you're blessed with a cash tree. Maybe, unfortunately, your grandpa just died and left you millions of dollars. But for the most part of the world, my nephew asked me back when he was shooting videos with me, do you think I'll be able to afford a house? And I said, yeah, I think you'll be able to afford a house, but I think it's going to be hard.
Right.
And you're going to have to make some compromises. I didn't get no koi pond. I didn't get no outdoor kitchen in the first house. You know what I got? I got a hole in the wall to go pee in, I mean.
Yeah. No, and I think that's it. I mean, you keep your nose to the grindstone. You look at properties, and you have to look at the potential in them, right? And I'm talking I had a nice meeting with a younger couple. They make great money, but they're just, when they look at the house prices, they go, "Oh my God!" So their mindset, and I'm not gonna, I'm gonna do my best to work with them and walk them through properties and explain this and explain everything else to them. But getting them over that hurdle is like, wow, this is what you get for $300,000, and yeah, that's where we're at right now.
So I got a question for you, and this is a question I want to talk a little bit about. When do we sit down and start working with clients? And that's not my question. This is the idea. So I'll give you some background. Clients of mine referred another person over to me. I talked to him on the phone. And he tells me his scenario. Nowadays, we've all got Credit Karma or some way to check our credit. And so, you don't have to go down to the banks and talk to a mortgage officer to find out that you got bad credit.
Right.
But he was telling me, he's like, I got this, I got bad credit and everything. Would you sit down with that guy and talk to him about home buying?
Absolutely.
Why?
Because I want to build a relationship with him. Because at some point he is going to be buying a home, and being a trusted, valued, member in his journey is important. Absolutely.
100%.
Yep.
And that's what I did today. And I'll tell you, I've had the question many a times over the years of, should I sit down with this person? An agent would come to me and give me the scenario like I just gave you, and I'm like, abso-stinkin-lutely. First off, I wouldn't be where I'm at today in my financial journey if I didn't have the Brian Kay or the Kyle Andrews to sit down with me and teach me the keys to success when it comes to home buying. Because they don't teach that in our education system, right? They don't give you that type of advice.
Right.
And so a lot of us are put out into the world saying, go get a college tuition.
Yeah.
Go get a loan for college. Go rack up some credit cards. Buy a car on credit, all these things,
right?
But no one's telling you how to get financially stable, right? And so a big part for me when someone comes to me and says, man, I don't have that great a credit, I go, okay, that's fine. If you would like to talk about what this journey looks like,
absolutely,
let's sit down. Now, I'm not a pressure salesman. It says SP on my license, but I'm not I don't consider myself a salesperson. I'm a guide, coach, an advisor.
Right.
And so we sat down, we had a great conversation today, and at the end of the day, he is going to reach out to some loan officers.
Yeah.
Not to necessarily apply for a loan, to get a loan tomorrow.
To get guidance.
Because I'm not the guy that's like, okay, well, let me go ahead and do a soft pull on your credit, because that's not me. I don't have that ability, right?
It'd be cool if we could.
But no, I don't want to do that. But I do want to be able to guide that person in the right direction.
Absolutely.
And then, like you said, long term, that guy's going to work with me.
That's what I want, and that's why I never just push anybody away. Even if they tell me, "Hey, look, I know this is a long shot," I'm like, "Well, we need to sit down and understand some things and kind of where the market's going, where you're at, and get you positioned for the future. Whether it's 3 weeks from now or 3 years from now.
Yeah,
it's really not my journey, but I want to be along with it. I want to be alongside you for yours.
Now, if your clients that are pre-qualified up to $300,000 said, sit down, talk about the journey. Great, we're pre-qualified up to $300,000. Okay, Kyle, we've done a lot of thinking, and what we need is an indoor pool inside of our 4,000 square foot home, and it has to be in Coeur d'Alene.
Yeah. Well, guys, I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but it's not going to happen, and that's okay. Yeah.
That's
No.
where we cut the relationship.
Well, we don't have to cut the relationship.
Well, and I mean
that's where we're just being honest with people.
Well, and yes, absolutely. That client may come back around and everything else like that. But I mean, there's some listings that I've chosen to set standards with,
Absolutely.
and or just to not take.
Oh, I'm going up against one here in about 30 days, and it's not a bad one. They're really motivated, and I love that they're motivated, and so I understand where they're going, but I meet with them anyways because we buy raw milk from them, and every time I'm there and they bring up real estate, I'm always setting my stage.
Mm-hmm.
I'm setting the conversation. I'm setting the expectations, right? And when we sit down, they're not going to hear much about what's new, but there's going to be a couple things that's saying, hey, if you guys don't want to follow my direction, then I'm going to have to ask you to at least sign here saying that you will pay for all of my marketing, all of my photos if it doesn't go as planned. Now, so we'll start at a number you want. I'm going to give them, the price range where I think they should be. And if they want to go ahead and test the market, well, I need some reassurance on my end, which is fine. I want to do that for them. Now, if you guys are going to follow the, the way I lay this out for you is, hey, how far over do you think you are on your price? Well, we're going to drop it 8%. And I get this, oh, wow, that's a lot. I said, well, you want to get into the market where it sells? That's what we're going to need to do. If nobody's biting on it in 2 weeks, this is where we're going. We're going 8%. We start getting showings in, right? But no offers, we need to drop it probably 2%. Maybe even 5%. We're going to inch closer.
Do you want your house for sale or to sale?
Exactly. and then you get the conversation is we need this much money to do this. Well, we already know where they're looking at. We'll get you where you need to go, but first we need to focus on this, right? Where are we going to set the stage at? How are we going to overcome if you can't get exactly what you need, right? Because we're here to sell the house.
Yep.
And as simple as that. I want to be the guy for you. I got great communication skills. This is the attack we're going to do. This is the update you're going to get, and you're going to know if you're in line with everything.
Yeah.
If you're not, and you can't make it through this, then we could probably know that right now. So what are we willing to work with?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to be on the market for 5 or 6 months? Do you want to be able to sell this and then go in at a lower price? A lot of people think we got to have this much money in order to get this, right? But that's always not true. If the market's going up, we're all kind of going up together. If it's going down, we're going down together. Now, are you looking at a property that's been on the market for a year? You can probably take less for it, so you can come down, right? It's a flowing thing, so we gotta look at everything. You like my hand action?
I love it.
Wah!
Well, one of my mentors put it like this. He says, too many people are looking to solve all their problems with one real estate transaction.
Right.
And you'll hear this if you're in the business long enough, like more than 2 minutes, that is. Well, I need to sell my house for this much.
Right.
So that I could pay off this, and then I can do this. And it's like, well, no one buying your car
Right. Cares about your debt.
cares about your kid's college tuition. What
Right.
they're looking at when they're looking at buying your car or your house is what is it valued at?
Exactly.
So I'm not going to go into the store and buy a box of Hot Pockets for $97 because Kyle needs to pay off his credit
Right.
card.
Well, yeah, when you can just go right over here and get them for $3.
Makes way more sense.
Right.
And so if your house is overpriced because you need to do all this and you think
Right.
that, well, I'm just going to go right over there where they're selling Hot Pockets for $3 and get one of those.
Yep.
Or if you're really savvy, you're just going to go into your client's freezer and get out a Hot Pocket and
Been
nuke it
there.
up. I know, you told me
That's
this
a
story.
free Hot Pocket.
That's a free that's a free $50
Yeah. No, I think not enough real estate agents have the backbone to be straightforward with their clients. I really truly feel that, and I think a lot of clients don't have the willingness to listen to their agents.
Yeah.
So you just never know where the issue really is, and I don't like to make assumptions on anything. When I see a house that's obviously overpriced for the condition it's in, there could be multiple things going on, and I just if somebody thinks it's worth it, they do. If not, they don't.
I did a bunch of boat garages earlier this year, and while I didn't understand why I was given that opportunity up front, it's clear as day now, especially doing my year-end review. First off, I met some fantastic people. If we just stopped right there, it would have been worth what I did, because, I spent a lot of time on that. And, yeah, anyway, so it was not as lucrative as doing real estate.
Right.
For the amount of, okay, so we'll just leave it like that. I'm very blessed. I'm not complaining. However, I took the first listing of a boat garage, and when I talked to them, all I could think about is, how can I help this person? They asked, can you sell it? I said, I don't know. We'll figure this out. I took the listing. After I had about, 2, 3, 4 days, maybe a week of analyzing what I did, what happened, and everything, I went, okay, this is how I'm going to do this moving forward. And so everybody that came to me and said, I want to list my boat garage, because now the word starts getting
right.
And I was just very upfront with them. Look, first off, I don't list these. I don't list anything without professional photography and videos.
Right.
Okay. Now, part of that's for reputation. Part of it's because I'm going to take it. I'm going to market this.
Yeah, valuable. It's a valued service.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But the main thing for me was, I don't want to take this and the next person see that I just had some cell phone photos, or that's just not the
Look
person
at your
that
face.
I am.
Look at your face when you said that.
Yeah.
You totally got disgusted.
So what I started doing when people called and said, hey, I want to sell my boat garage, was, okay, I'll sell your boat garage. You're going to pay for my photographer, my professional photographer, to come out, and he's going to do professional photos, and he's going to do professional videos. And I'll tell you, the first person was just like, yep, sounds good, signed on the dotted line.
Right.
Second person was like, do we really have to? And I'm like, yep, if you want to use me. But then I got someone that, and I'll tell you, those folks that I worked with this year that I sold their boat garages, salt of the earth. Just fantastic people. They understood I was a businessman, that I was working to help them out.
Right.
Okay. And then I talked to, we'll call him Clyde. And Clyde wanted to sell his boat
My
garage.
uncle?
And I said, okay, well, this is what we do, and this is, I'll get a photographer out there. We need to do professional photos, videos. Well, I've already got photos. Okay, well, I'm sure you do, and I'm telling you, I haven't seen your photos, but I'm telling you, more than likely, they weren't done professionally, and we're going to do professional photos and video.
Right. Yeah.
Right? It's probably not going to be that much more to have them snap some photos out there, but we're doing video, plain and simple.
Right.
Well, why do I have to do that? I just told you, this is my business. This is my standard. Well, I don't know if I feel about that. So 3 days later, he has me call him back. He went, well, I don't know. Seems like an awful lot. And he's bucking,
Yeah.
Now, as it sits, I have not listed Clyde's boat garage. I've probably had about 5 or 6 interactions now with Clyde.
Yeah.
And there's a very good chance that even if Clyde called me up, because we can't do it now, it's in storage somewhere, but even if he called me up tomorrow and said, hey, okay, we'll go ahead and do this, that I wouldn't work with him. And the reason being, not because I don't want to do the work, not because, he didn't listen to me at first and blah, 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 but Clyde showed his hands. Okay, and Clyde told me that I was not that I, was not the professional in this that he was.
Right. Yeah.
Clyde was extremely difficult before we ever even got to first base.
Yeah.
I mean, extremely difficult. And how do you think that transaction's going to go?
Difficult.
The whole way through.
And you want me to do what? And they're offering what? And you want paid what?
Yeah.
And I got to do this what?
Mm-hmm. And some of these other, people that I've worked with are just like, man, you were so helpful. Oh my gosh, thank you. You didn't make enough money.
Mindset, man.
Yeah, so I think, as agents, as business professionals, anybody, we need to have our standards.
Yeah.
And it's not easy, especially if you're a given person and you want to help everybody like we do.
Yep.
But it's not easy, but you got to stick to those standards.
Yep. No, I mean, when I started, I'm just like, I was afraid to tell them, hey, if this doesn't sell, I need paid for I need reimbursed with any provable receipts for my marketing and my photos. Now it's just standard.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of people in this market, they want to go higher than what their homes are selling at.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to spend my family's money. I don't want to waste it. I'm not here to waste it.
You're not opposed to spending it.
Right.
But if you spend it knowing that you're not going to get it back,
absolutely,
that's not there's no ROI, but that's a horrible investment.
Absolutely.
Like, hey, buy my cell phone. Okay, well, if I buy it, if you buy this, you will get nothing out of that.
Yeah.
Well, why would I buy that then? I don't get it.
Yeah.
So,
nope, I'm with you.
Stick to the standards. Well, man, it's been another fine show. They go by quick.
All right, brother.
I'm Brian K.
I'm Kyle A.